Hey everyone, Shane here from freetechtutorials.com. I'm here today bringing you a 21st Java tutorial. In this tutorial today, we're looking at how to call multiple methods that all have the same name. This is also called method overloading. So the reason you might want to have multiple methods that all have the same name is that your methods do perform similar functions, but depending on the data that's passed into them or data that's available, they might need to behave a little bit differently. So what I've got here is I've got 4 methods created, each one with the same name of greeting. So each method has the same name. Now, as you can see, each one does something a little bit different. For example, this one just says good morning. This one says good morning with a name, good morning with whatever day it is, and this includes both the good morning, name, and day. And so let's say we had a program here that we're trying to say good morning to our user. Now, based on whatever information that we get from a user, whether we have their name, if we know what day it is, or we don't have any of that information, we may want to use a different one of these methods. Well, how do we tell Java when we go to call it which one we want to use? Well, there's 2 ways that Java tells different methods apart. The first way is by the number of parameters. So Java knows that this first method is different from the second method because this one has 0 parameters and this one has 1 parameter. Now, if you look here, the second and third method each both have 1 parameter. Well, the second way that Java tells the difference between multiple methods like this is by the parameter type. So even though both of these only have 1 parameter, Java knows that they're different because this one is expecting a string and this one an integer. And so when we're calling these different methods, what Java is looking for, we do our method call, like for instance right here I have just a method call with no arguments. It's trying to match up the best case here. So it sees this method call, says, okay, I need to find the greeting method, but I need to find the greeting method that has 0 arguments, or sorry, 0 parameters, because I don't have any arguments to pass in, so I need to find the one that matches up. So if we run this right now, it should get this first method. It should run this first method because it's the only one that matches, that has 0 parameters in it. Everything else has at least 1 parameter. So let's go ahead and run it real quick and let's see if that's what happens. There we go, we got good morning. Well, what about if we want to run the second one here? So we would have to put in some type of string because that's what it's expecting. It's expecting to get a string. So if we just put in a name in here, and if we run that, we should get that second one. Okay, the second one says good morning plus a name. Perfect. Now if we notice, the second method has a string parameter in it, but so does our fourth one. Well, Java knows that we don't want to run the fourth one because we're only passing in 1 argument. The fourth method is expecting 2 arguments because it has 2 parameters here. However, if we go ahead and add another argument here, it should run that. So let's say today's the 29th of September, so we'll do 29, and now we're passing in an integer, and we're passing in a string. Well, Java looks and says, okay, is there any greeting methods that expect an integer and a string? Let's see. Oh, look, right there. That's the one I should run. So let's try that and make sure that's what happens. There we go. So it says, good morning, Shane. Today is September 29. All right, so that's pretty simple. Now, there are a couple places that people get confused when doing overloading of methods. One is that sometimes you can get tricked into thinking that the return type being different would make Java believe that these are different methods. That's not the case. So even if we put int here, and if this one had no parameters, even though these return types are different, Java still sees these as the same method. So it's going to give us an error and say that it doesn't know what we want it to run if we try to do this. So let's see what that error is that we get and see if it'll even compile for us. This is expecting a return statement, so we'll do a return just to get it to be quiet. Now we're still getting an error here. What does the other error say? Duplicate method. There we go. So it says, okay, you want me to find the greeting method with 0 parameters. Well, I found 2 of them. Even though the return type is different, Java doesn't care. It still sees both of these as the same. So just changing the return type does not make these methods different enough for Java to tell the difference between the 2. The other thing that can get confusing for some people is that Java doesn't also care about the name. So even if you have, for instance, down here, this fourth one, we have int day and string name. Let's say if we did int day here and we did string last name. Java's still going to be confused with these because it doesn't care that these names, the name of our parameters, are different. All it cares is that do these have the same number of parameters? Yes, they do. They both have 2 parameters. Are they the same data types? Yes, there's 1 integer and 1 string. In that case, Java says these are the same method. I'm confused. I don't know what to do. So this is a pretty simple concept to get. This could be really useful if you, like I said, if you have a couple different methods that you need to use, that it'd be really nice, man. It'd be really nice if they are all the same name because they all kind of do the same thing, but I need them to behave differently based on what information that I have available or I need to pass into those different methods. So method overloading is something that you could definitely use and be useful for you. That's pretty much for this tutorial. If you like, make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, check out my website at freetectorials.com, and I'll catch you guys next time.